Hello!
Happy Sibling Shanty Sunday! I'm Sky.
I'm Sagan.
And we're siblings.
And we sing sea shanties and sea shanty adjacent music.
And on Sundays.
Yep.
Yep. It's week 11.
It is week 11.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And apparently some of us haven't gotten enough sleep.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. On Sundays.
On Sundays.
Yep.
We're back again.
Yep, we are back
apparently
again.
you are too. We're not sure why, but
we
we're
assume
glad
you are
here.
if you're watching this video.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming back. We're coming for the first time.
Yeah.
We have three sort of upbeat things. The weather's kind of crazy here today.
Yeah, the weather's kind of being weird, but we have we got some
fun things.
Yeah, we got some three sort of upbeat, lighthearted shanties for you here. The first one is a halyard shanty, dates back to at least the mid 1800s. It's called. It goes by several names. There's actually in Stan. Where did I put it? It's somewhere around here. I've shown it before, so you know we have a copy of it. But in Stan Hugel's Shanties from the Seven Seas, there's like 5 or 6 different versions of it. But this one's probably the goofiest one. So it's sort of it's a little bit along the lines of like how the elephant got its trunk.
Right.
But it's called in Frisco Bay, sometimes also called Noah's Old Ark or A Long Time Ago. And this one is it's just call and response. And if you'll blow that E for me here, sure. I'll teach you them. So the first response, so Shantyman has one line, and then the first response goes like this: to me, way, hey, hey. Always, hey, responsibly. And then Shantyman has a second line, and then the second response. I'm like doing things down here below the camera line. The second response is a long time ago, and that's about all there is to it. It's just
I always wanted to launch into the chorus of Rio Grande after that.
Away,
yeah. I don't know why. It sounds like
it has a very sort of a similar
kind of feel to it. So I always wanted to launch into the chorus of
in Frisco Bay, there were 3 ships. Away for Rio. In Frisco Bay, there were 3 ships a long time ago. Okay, now let's forget everything we just did in the last 15 seconds. But
just in my head, that's where it always goes to. I don't know why my brain mashes these two up, but
Shanty mashups, I think, is probably the next permutation.
It's the next big thing on TikTok.
Yeah, it's gonna be the next evolution of the shanty craze. It's just call and response, and that's about all there is to it. You ready?
Sure.
All right. In Frisco Bay, there were 3 ships to me way, hey, hey. In Frisco Bay, there were 3 ships a long time ago. And one of them ships was Noah's Old Ark to me way, hey, hey. All covered all over in hickory bark a long time ago. They took 2 animals of every kind to me way, hey, hey. They took 2 animals of every kind a long time ago. The bull and the cow, they started a row to me way, hey, hey. The bull and the cow, they started to row a long time ago. Then said old Noah with a flick of his whip to me way, hey, hey. Come stop this row or I'll scuttle the ship a long time ago. But the bull struck his horn to the side of the ark to me way, hey, hey. And the little black dog, he started to bark a long time ago. So Noah took the dog, shoved its nose up the hole to me way, hey, hey. And ever since then, dog's nose have been cold a long time ago. 'Twas a long, long time and a very long time to me way, hey, hey. It's a long, long time and a very long time, a long time ago. Ah! So now you know why dogs' noses are cold.
That was a ridiculous
Yep.
story. Yep.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yep. But yes, like you mentioned, bird o'clock.
Bird o'clock.
You know, similar to, you know, just tall tale stories of how different or you know, the origin stories of how different things evolved to be that way.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one. This next one is called The Worst Old Ship. This one's a pump shanty. Was not able to find any sort of date or origin, so we're just going to assume it's like super old. This one, I'm not going to go through and give you like the whole. It names a lot of places that are in England, and I'm not going to give you the whole tour of England. You can go to whatever the English version of Olive Garden is for that. I assume.
No.
Well, since Olive Garden has a tour of Italy, I assume that there's a British version of Olive Garden that has a tour of England. Anyway, yeah.
What would be in a tour of England?
Huh?
What would be shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie,
which is delicious.
Yep.
Bangers and mash, maybe.
Possibly.
Fish and
chips? Question mark? We've only been there once.
That's not true. We've been there a couple of times.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, though.
Well,
a long time ago.
Long time ago. You know, tea. No, just tea. Yeah, English tea is much more delicious.
Just a plate of tea.
Yeah, but much more delicious than our tea. I don't know, the tea that we had when we went to fancy tea. It was tasty.
It was tasty.
Tasty.
Okay.
Never mind.
Anyway, so
if you live in England, you could tell us what would be in the
what would be in a
of England.
Yeah, tour of England.
Please. Food wise, what would be the three things you would put in there?
So it just mentions a whole bunch of different places in England that you could look up yourself. So this one has a chorus that everybody sings along with. Give me a C sharp. And the chorus goes like this. And we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. That's about all there is to it.
Yeah, easy. No problem. And lyrics are down below.
Lyrics are down below.
There's a few more lyrics in this one, but it's still, you'll be fine.
Yep.
Ready?
Are you ready?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh boy.
Toad in the hole. Toad in the hole? No. I was just trying to think of other... No, I was
that's right, it's a food. Oh
yeah,
my
I was
God.
trying to think of other food.
It's just like...
I don't know.
Scuba.
No, it's
Adirondack.
See, I can do it too. Yep.
The worst old ship that ever did away sailed out of Harwich on a windy day, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Oh, she was built in Roman times and held together with the bits of twine, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Nothing in the galley, nothing in the hold, but the skipper's turned in with a bag of gold, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. As we shoved off from the Surrey dock, the skipper caught his knickers in the main sheet block, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. By Orford Ness she sprang a leak, hear her poor old timbers creak, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. We pumped our way around a low stuffed nest when the wind backed around to the west southwest, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Through the cockles to Clonmacreff, she's steering like a wagon with a wheel adrift, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Into the Humber and up to town, it's pump my bullies, pump her around, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Her coal was shot by a Kedby crew, but her bottom was a rotten and it all fell through, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. So after all our fears and alarms, we all ended up in the Druid's arms, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. And we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day when we get our pay. Yeah! There we go.
Hooray!
If it's talking about coal, actually, it might be more on the recent side. If it's talking about maybe it's
I say some
steam
of the references
engine.
in that seem
It's sort of more modern.
Yeah.
Huh?
I remember when we did this before that the Druid's Arms is actually a
the
real
Druid's
place.
Arms. It's a pub in Bristol, I believe.
If we're recalling correctly there.
No, I'm not sure if that's the specific Druid's Arms that they're talking about, but
many others that way.
Could be.
Yes, but is actually a real place.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of real places, I don't know. That doesn't really work.
Oh, is that a segue into the
Yeah, I was trying.
Cool. I was attempting. No, it's good. Yep. No, Cuba's definitely
a
real
place. Yeah,
so this next one's really interesting because Stan Hugel called it a shanty about nothing. He didn't give a date to it, but he called it a shanty for doing nothing at all. That this was it was definitely a four-bitter. It wasn't used for work, but it was sort of explicitly sort of like written and performed in like a shanty style. But it would either be performed for fun while people were like sitting along the deck, or it would be done to annoy the ship's officers without technically doing anything wrong. So I guess it's a little bit of
we're just singing shanties.
Yeah, we're just singing shanties, sir. It's sort of the sailor version of malicious compliance, perhaps.
Right. It's like my students were singing. What were they saying?
Oh no,
we were at rehearsal today, and I teach high school music, and we're getting ready for a musical next weekend, and so they had put their microphones on, and somebody was like, "Oh, they look like the Backstreet Boys," and so then it was just the entire Backstreet Boys,
everybody,
all of them,
Oh no,
which is enjoyable, but when you're trying to get things done, and they're like, "But we're practicing singing," and it's like, I mean, yes, but also
no.
Yeah.
And this one probably has some of the more nonsensical lyrics of any of the shanties that we do. I mean, it starts off with a line, running down to Cuba with a load of sugar. For anybody who's versed with the sort of the trade routes, Cuba was and perhaps still is one of the Age of Sail's biggest sugar exporters.
Exporters, not someplace you would take sugar to.
Correct.
Coming
although the song ends with loading the sugar and going home, so you're taking sugar down to Cuba and then picking more up and going home with it.
Trading sugar.
Who knows? But then it talks about the captain trimming the sails and some other odd stuff. It's really like the crew just sort of messing around. Having a time. And that's about... Oh, I should actually probably teach it to you, shouldn't I? So this one has calls and responses and a chorus that everybody sings along with. So Shantyman has one line. The first response is, "Way me boys to Cuba." Easy enough. Shantyman has a second line, and then, "Running down to Cuba." And then the chorus combines the two,
but together.
"Way me boys to Cuba, running down to Cuba."
So you really only have to learn two lines.
Yeah.
And stick them together.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's about all there is to this song.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
I
remember I heard this song first playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which was the game that really got me into shanties. Everything after that was that was sort of the thing that sort of made the crack that I sort of like stuck my head into, and I was like, oh, this music's so cool.
Yeah, we've always been into folk music and grown up listening to people like John McCutcheon or the Corys or different variety of folk groups like that. But, I think it was sort of. I think it's Assassin's Creed's fault that we sort of got back into that. And it was at a similar time, so my students were also playing this game, which is, for those of you that are not gamers that way, is set in this world where you crew and captain a sailing ship, a pirate ship. But part of the thing that you can do in this world is you can come across the sheet music for
that's
different
sort of
shanties.
Floating magically in the air. You have to like chase it down. But then once you get the sheet music, it's added to your crew's repertoire. They start off with like, knowing, I think it's like 6 or 7 songs. But then if you catch them all, your crew knows quite a number of songs by the time you get around to the end game.
And the recordings are great. They're they're not they're recorded intentionally to sound like a bunch of guys.
Yeah, a bunch of guys on a ship. Yeah,
singing abilities, singing on a ship. But they're really great, and they're just fun things like that. And it introduced, I think, probably a whole new generation. Of people to sea shanties and all of that.
No, it absolutely did.
Prior to this new sort of resurgence of interest that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a diatribe. Yep. But some really fun stuff on that. And we have linked some recordings from the game before, both with gameplay as well as just the recordings of them that way.
Yeah.
But yes, this is one that features on that soundtrack.
So this is actually one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it's fun.
Off the soundtrack, it's a lot of fun. Running down to Cuba with a load of sugar. Way me boys to Cuba. Make her run you lime juice squeezers. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Whoa, I got a sister, she's 9 feet tall. Way me boys to Cuba. Sleeps in the kitchen with her feet in the hall. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Oh, the captain, he will trim the sails. Way me boys to Cuba. Winging the water over the rails. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Oh, give me a gal can dance a fandango. Way me boys to Cuba. Round as a melon and sweet as a mango. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Oh, load this sugar and homeward go. Way me boys to Cuba. Mr. Matey told me so. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Yeah!
It's just fun.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your 3 upbeat, fun shanties for your weekend.
Yep. We'll be doing, probably doing the, words. No, we're probably doing, wow, gosh darn.
So next weekend is St. Patrick's Day weekend, celebrated here in the U.S. and other places, as well. So we will probably pull out some of our favorite Irish shanties and folk shanty adjacent kinds of things that way as well.
I'm gonna need to like rest my mouth muscles all week, evidently, to be able to pull that off. I'm having trouble today already.
But hopefully you enjoyed some sort of fun, lighthearted kinds of things for your week there.
Yeah.
And links below again for all sorts of fun stuff. And
I meant to mention in the first one that's talking about make her run you lime juice squeezes. That's referring to, the process of, drinking lime juice when you're on a ship to avoid scurvy, the bane of pirates everywhere, besides, the ocean police.
Or something.
Or something like that. But
one of those things.
Sorry, I just completely derailed that.
Not bothering me.
Yep.
I would have brought my props of our lime juice in the fridge if I thought about it. Oh well.
It's also part of why British people are sometimes referred to as limeys, is because on their ships, lime juice was specifically like rationed out as part of the rules.
Right. Which the Yankee ships made fun of them for.
But that's a shanty we'll get to at a later date.
Yeah. How dare you be prepared and thoughtful about your crew members. Whatever.
Anyway.
You got lots of weird chit chat today too. Sorry about that.
No.
Sorry. No. hope you have a wonderful week. And go support local music where you are. And be safe. We love you. And we'll see you again next Sunday. Bye! Bye!